Hello, everybody. Cynthia Allen here. Glad to have Alan Questel with me. He's being mysterious there, no last name. Alan is going to be one of the teachers in the upcoming Move Better, Feel Better Summit, and 5-day challenge, really. I shouldn't have called it a summit. So sorry about that. On May 6th through 10th, Alan will be teaching actually on the 7th. And Alan is also the author of this fantastic book about kindness. But today we're going to be talking about puzzles. And yeah, Alan, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to see you. And hello to everybody out there. I hope you'll get something out of this and come see the rest of it.
Yeah, me too. So first I want to say to those people who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, if you would please just pop on over where it says register with StreamYard. All you have to really do is give them your name. You don't have to create an account. And then when you make a comment or just say hi, we actually can see who it is instead of it saying YouTube person, Facebook person. It's just not very personal, you know? And we would love to have your puzzling questions today. If you would like to ask a puzzling question, please feel free to do so. So riddle me this, Alan. You are teaching a lesson in the Adventuresome Experienced group, and you are calling it
The Puzzle.
Yeah, I'm puzzled by that. I'm like, wonder what that lesson is.
Well, it's something that when you do the lesson, you're going to have to figure something out. Something in terms of yourself and how you move and how you make sense out of the instructions. And, you know, it's funny, when I teach this lesson in the public with people around, they tend to start to watch each other. So it's a real advantage to do it here where I'll be able to see you, but you're not going to be watching anyone else. You can't imitate anyone.
Well, that's not exactly true. So I'll just let you know that we will have, just so that they know they can cheat, because people probably want to know they can't cheat. You can do illegal cheating with us. And that is, we'll have two people that are actually Feldenkrais practitioners who will also be puzzling through Alan's lesson, which does not mean that they're doing it the best way. It means they are personally puzzling through the lesson. And you can take a little sneak peek, just like you would if you were in a class, and go, I wonder what they're thinking of that instruction. So you will get that opportunity. But I think you raised like a really good point right there for us all, that's a huge part of the Feldenkrais work right there, isn't it?
Yeah, we generally don't demonstrate. But I just want to go back to the idea of cheating. I think cheating is a very high level of intelligence. So I support your cheating in that way.
Oh, wonderful. Good. Yeah. That must have meant the world to my mother in kindergarten when I cheated off of someone's coloring paper in kindergarten. I was already stressed in kindergarten about
this. Kindergarten. I did it all the way through high school.
So my compulsions go way back.
Mine too.
Good.
But as you were saying, the Feldenkrais method, we don't demonstrate things, right? You're there to figure it out yourself, to try to make sense out of it. And, you know, the lesson itself is called the puzzle. But in fact, we can view almost any Feldenkrais lesson as a puzzle in terms of getting to know ourselves in a different way and trying to make sense out of something. And because so many of the movements are novel, unusual, unknown to many of us, or things we haven't done for a long time, that figuring it out, that puzzling it is a big part of what we do in most lessons, actually.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it can be a little disconcerting in the beginning for people. So those of you who are signing up and you're completely new to the method, whether you sign up for the beginner track or the experienced adventuresome track, you may find that to be disconcerting. Like, I think one of the most common things I hear from beginners is just tell me how to do it.
Right.
You know, and of course, or show me. They really like to show me how to do it, you know, and that can be frustrating to really hang out in your own unknown experience.
Yeah. Is the feedback coming from you or me? Are you hearing that or?
I'm not hearing it.
Oh, then it's just
I think I had a little moment of it, but it seems pretty good. So
okay.
we'll power on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then also you are going to be part of the somatic applications discussion group, which is for the professionals at the end of the day.
Right.
And you and I will be chatting with all the professionals that show up, and we'll be talking about what the lessons were that day and how they might be applied to different people or problems or situations. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it'll be great. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then also we'll be revealing an underlying Feldenkrais principle or theme and talking about its importance in clinical applications as well. So it should be good.
You know, the lesson that I'm teaching is considered more advanced. And, you know, one of the questions is, what makes someone more advanced in doing Feldenkrais? And it's actually, from my point of view, someone is more advanced or skilled in doing Feldenkrais if they can let their attention wander through themselves throughout the lesson. So they're not focused on the outcome. They're starting to listen to how the rest of themselves is participating. And in that sense, advanced doesn't always mean challenging, right? Although this lesson presents some level of challenge for sure, but then the advanced part is also learning and knowing how to take care of yourself when you're faced with some level of challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing the lesson because I don't know what it is. You've not really given me enough information to know if I know it or if it's something completely new to me.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm somebody that has to really cautiously move through a more challenging lesson, a more physically challenging, pretzel-y kind of lesson, right?
Yeah.
And yet, you know, I've done a couple of those recently and been really pleased with, like, oh, okay, I can attend to myself and decide this is not going in a good direction for me. I need to back off and think about it. And that's so much of what the work is about, is this adaptability in life, so that when we go out and something happens during the day that we feel stuck, immobilized, trapped, whatever kinds of words people use, unable to rise to the challenge, all these kinds of things, that we don't see it in this kind of black and white way, but
Yeah.
that we become more and more creative.
Yeah. And I can say one of the things that is incorporated in the lesson that I'll be teaching is multiple levels of success. So
Mhm.
you may not even get to the very end, but throughout, you'll find that just going in the direction of attempting to do something will bring about a result in another movement in the quality of how you do something. And that's an important part, that people feel successful in some way. Otherwise, it's just an achievement goal-oriented process, which is not what we're so interested in.
Yeah, not only are we not so interested in it, but a lot of us would just drop out.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, we would just drop out because we would go, well, that's not going to be possible for me. So what's the point?
yeah,
And for us, the point is not whether you can do the ending move. If there is an ending move, there isn't always an ending move, but there will be for you. It's not that you can do the ending move. It's that would you say, well, let's puzzle through this. Would
yeah,
we say that is that really what we're developing is the capacity to titrate or monitor ourselves
mhm,
through the process and make good decisions,
yeah,
maybe in the moment?
definitely. And I think there's an even deeper aspect of what can be revealed in something like that, which is, if I'm feeling challenged that I can't do something, all the internal conversations, I'm not good enough, everyone's better than me, I'm going to be the best. This is a big part, because in life, we don't have a chance to investigate those qualities of thought, right? We have to move on in life and get things done. But here we have the chance to recognize that we've learned how to learn in a particular way that is a recurring loop that often doesn't serve us.
Mhm. It's true. And it's amazing to me, like, when I'm really, really engaging in something completely new, especially if it's in a classroom format. Like I remembered years and years ago when I first started doing ceramics and pottery, that on the second night, I thought I was going to cry and quit. I thought, why? I will just quit. It's
Yeah,
just going to be too much for me. I'm not going to be able to do it, blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
And of course, I'm really glad I didn't, because I turned out to love it, love it. But then I had this long break after exploring it for 3 or 4 years. Then I've had this almost 25-year break from it. And I went back recently. And on the first day, I had a similar kind of feeling like, oh, I've forgotten too much. I'm not going to be able to get it. And I could hear it. And then I remembered that. And then I went, I was able to go, don't, stick with it, stick with it.
yeah,
But it's such a great opportunity to hear in our own heads what we do when we are confronted with whatever to us seems challenging.
yeah.
And for some people, it will be going slow, where
That's
we,
right.
our motto, slow is the new fast for this event.
Yeah.
For some people, just the act of asking them to go slow, and I shouldn't say just, I should say the act of asking them to go slow will actually be the thing that makes them want to quit.
And actually, the act of going slow provides the opportunity to shift our attention in a different way. Not only from away from the internal negative dialogue, but in terms of the sensations that we have and the sense of discovery or playfulness that children have. And it's not to become childish, but we can find a childlike, playful quality where it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to be good at something right away. That's the adult dilemma, that adults think we should be good at something before we've ever done it.
Mhm.
And it stops us from doing things. And I'm glad you continued the pottery. And I can say the same was true for me about the Feldenkrais method. I was like, I'm never going to understand this. When Moshe would talk, it was so above my head in so many ways. And I was like, boy, what a fortunate thing to have been there and to be here now with all of you too. So
That's true. You were very privileged to be among the people who studied directly with him, and that I think for any of us who weren't privileged and are deep in the Feldenkrais method, we recognize that that's quite a moment for you. And I still, when I listen to his lectures, I remember listening to his lectures inside the training and thinking, whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just, whatever. I'm doing the movement here. I'm over here doing the movement. I'm not really sure what he's talking about.
yeah,
It is levels of interest, levels of learning.
yeah,
And I think the other thing that happens to adults is that not only does it stop us from, not only does this idea that we should be good at it from the beginning stop us from moving forward in something, but it's just such a downer for life. I mean, now everything has to be about whether you have a singing voice. Like, what happened to singing in the shower?
yeah.
What happened to bad dancing? Or bad jokes.
Bad jokes. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
I think that, there'll be numerous opportunities for a variety of things in the lesson, from dealing with some aspect of your self-image and internal dialogue to sensing what does it mean to go slow and what that affords us in terms of learning and how we can understand ourselves better. Maybe you'll get to the solving the puzzle in a way that you'll feel like, wow, I just did something I didn't know I could do before.
mhm. And then, of course, there's the 24 hours afterwards, or for some people, a whole week or 2 weeks. And when you do 5 lessons, 1 every day, that's our challenge, is that you do a lesson every day for 5 days. And for those people who do it, I feel confident you'll have a bigger experience than people who do only 1,
Yeah,
because there's a cumulative effect that's going to be layered inside you. And we really selected the days so that they build in a nice way, not in the nice way of every day after Alan's lesson is more challenging. I would actually say his lesson might be the most physically challenging lesson that you might encounter, and he's early in the series. but there's a deepening of what we're asking of you and in your nervous system as we go through the 5 days. So it's lovely.
I think one other thing to consider is that there are hundreds of Feldenkrais lessons, and not every lesson is for everybody. So if you're in the 5-day challenge and you do a lesson and you feel, well, I don't know, don't stop there. Come and do the next one and see, maybe the next one speaks to you more directly, more intimately.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know on the day that you're teaching, we also just talked with Frederick Shang yesterday. So he's the early person on your day, and the general theme is really working with flexors and extensors. And maybe you could say something about what are flexors and extensors for people who don't know.
Flexors and extensors can be talked about in a lot of ways. It can be a little complicated. Flexion is the action of closing a joint, and in the spine, it's folding or rounding. And extending would be opening the front of the joint, where you'd be arching backward. And there are flexor and extensor muscles. So the flexor muscles round you, and the extensor muscles arch you. And the relationship between those muscles is quite dynamic and antagonistic. And when they work more in relation to each other, as one contracts and the other extends, the result of that was we reside more in our skeleton. Now, when people think of flexors and extensors, they think of exercise. But here we're going to explore through movement how we can both generalize the relationships of the flexors and extensors and make them more synergistic in the way that they cooperate with each other more fully.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like balancing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I encourage you to register. You can register by clicking on the description of this video, and it's got the link to register. Also, we have a share with a friend and win contest going on today and tomorrow. So if you share it on Facebook or Instagram, that's the only places we can monitor easily, with a friend, and you put in the hashtag #, whatever you call that little hashtag thing, 3, depending on the generation that you're from. You put in slow is the new fast 2023. Later today, Cherry will be choosing a winner from all the people who shared the event, and you will get a free VIP upgrade. So she's already chosen one winner for yesterday. So, and I saw a lot of shares going on this morning, but get out there, share it. You'll help a friend. You potentially help yourself. It's a good thing. Alan, I'm really looking forward to it, and thank you for being with us again. And I'm gonna plug his book again, because there's gonna be readers that are gonna watch this. It's Practice Intentional Acts of Kindness, just out in the last few months.
And like yourself more.
And like yourself more. And like yourself more. Available on Amazon. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.